Hello everybody, welcome to another video to mark the October Revolution of 1917. Here we are in October 2025, all those decades later. Now we have a piece of Russian glass here, which coincidentally I just picked up at auction, and ironically it's in the style of Russian imperial glass. Of course, the Bolsheviks brought the Russian Empire to an end, and we have the let's test the autofocus on this thing. Probably let me down. Yes, it does. Anyway, you have to take my word for it, but that's a double-headed eagle, I think, on the build here. And it's, of course, in the style like a Faberge style egg. It's a tourist piece in red overlay glass, red cut to clear, as it might be described by some people. And we have these sort of lens cuts here which give you a view of a little model inside, which I think is St. Basil's Cathedral, which is at the end of Red Square in Moscow, which I visited twice. And that's the size of it, yeah, about 12 centimeters or so tall, and it does fold open all the way. There's a little model. Looks like autofocus just doesn't do anything on this camera. Let's give it a second. Yeah, this is the Panasonic S9 with the crappy autofocus. Let's have a closer look. The cutting is actually a little bit rough. There are just some striations inside the cut. I'm not sure if the camera will pick that up or not. Aside from that, it's not too bad. I mean, you can see, you know, some of the diamonds not really the same as size and that kind of thing. So it's not like a really high grade level of cutting. We just have some sort of vertical cuts on the base. We have the old sticker. Let me show you that. I'm trying not to get it greasy with my fingerprints, having just cleaned it. And the old price there, I think that's 18,000 rubles. They have a comma instead of a decimal, a dot to mark the decimal place. And scratched up the top, it's number, I think, 17 of 300. It's a limited edition, that's why I couldn't find it online. Russian imperial glass, if you're talking about the antique stuff, often has this sort of ormolu or gold plate sort of mounting on it. It's a little bit kitsch, really. I have a vase which might be Russian, which doesn't have any such metallic features. But anyway, this is consistent with most Russian imperial glass. It's quite a nice little item, just a tourist piece. 18,000 rubles. When I was in Russia before 2010, that would have been about $360 Australian, so quite an expensive little thing. Not sure exactly what year this was made. Could be a little bit later, so it could be more towards $250. I think the exchange rate did change a bit. Yeah, guys, it's quite heavy. Not sure what else I can really tell you about. I'm not sure why there's this little dot hole and little wire there. Not quite sure what that's all about because there's nothing really underneath there. Anyway, guys, a nice bit of Russian overlay glass. I'm a bit of a Russophile, so I'm not sure if I'll keep this one. I might try and sell it at a strong price, but we'll see. I couldn't find any online at all, so I'm perhaps just using the wrong search terms, but yeah, hard to say what the value would be pre-owned. Probably would have been told from a little boutique somewhere in Moscow, I'm guessing. There are lots of little tourist trinkets there, mostly cheaper than this, like Matryoshka dolls and stuff. Some of them are quite hideous. It'll be like, you know, Matryoshka dolls in the style of politicians and everything. It's quite awful. There's little sort of underground alleyways and stuff around there, and all these little sort of hole-in-the-wall shops and stuff like that. But this probably came from a slightly more upmarket place, I'm guessing, given the price. If anyone has any further information, let me know, but I'm guessing this was made after the year 2000, just based on the condition of it and the sort of condition of the price tag and everything. So, yeah, guys, that's it. A nice piece of Russian glass in October to mark the October Revolution. Thanks for watching.